And we turn now to ongoing concerns with the state of emergency in St. Catherine. Mayor of Portmore, Leon Thomas, is questioning the real motive behind the state of emergency. At an emergency meeting of the business community, Mr. Thomas suggested that curtailing crime is not the real reason for the SOE. We have more in this report. It was an emergency meeting of the Sunshine City Chamber of Commerce as the business community discussed what they described as the crushing blow of the state of emergency on their operations. Many have been counting their losses because of the early closing time under the security measure.
It started off with at 9 for 2 weeks, and we saw a serious loss in revenue. Millions of dollars lost in revenue. And this was expressed at the meeting we had last week. We welcome the 11 o'clock because at this point we feel like we have no choice. We feel like we're being held at ransom. But it still is not acceptable.
Restaurants, bars, and places of amusement have been the hardest hit, according to business operators. After the intense debate in Parliament, closing hours were shifted to 11 o'clock, but that has not tempered the complaints.
11 o'clock is by no means an appropriate time or an okay time for us to close our places of amusement. Portmore is a late community when it comes on to business. And I think it's right across the board, not just with amusement businesses, but it is a late. The nature of the businesses, the nature of the people and their habits, their shopping habits, and their wanting for entertainment is late.
They say planning is difficult for events such as Restaurant Week coming in November, as this is a period of heightened uncertainty. It was further highlighted that stocking up for Christmas is a tense wait-and-see game.
In the first 2 weeks of the SOE, she has lost close to $500,000. With 5 employees, she's going to be sending home 2. If the trend continues, she don't know what she's going to do. She borrowed money from the bank to bring in her Christmas stock. And she cannot sit now and plan for the Christmas season.
The business operators believe the security forces have miscalculated the situation. They argue that only some sections of Portmore are crime hotspots. That list includes Gregory Park, Waterford, Newlands, and parts of Port Henderson. They believe it was wrong to lump Portmore with other crime-ridden areas in St. Catherine like Spanish Town, Old Harbour, and Central Village. In their view, specific focus is lacking.
And if we can clearly identify these areas that those are the hotspot within the municipality, all we have to do is to blanket those areas and go door to door.
So why have the authorities taken the current approach? Mayor Thomas says he suspects that they want to stifle business.
In Portmore, when you look at the police stations, they are without cars. When you look at the number of police that you see in Portmore, there is no addition of boots on the ground to say that they are carrying out any major operation within Portmore to apprehend the criminals or the gangs. And that led me to say that this operation is just to get rid of some of the business operators, and people suffered more.